Hey everyone, welcome back to the Panic Room. Today we're in the briefing room and we're talking about a fresh security patch from Microsoft. They have just fixed a remote code execution vulnerability, or RCE, in Microsoft SharePoint. Now when you hear RCE, that's one of those phrases that immediately gets security people's attention. A remote code execution vulnerability basically means an attacker could potentially make a server run commands or code that the attacker controls, remotely, over the network. That's the scary part. They don't necessarily need physical access to the server, and in some cases, they may only need a lower level account or access that normally wouldn't seem super dangerous. In this case, Microsoft says an authenticated user with fairly minimal permissions could potentially exploit the issue. So imagine somebody gets access to a normal user account through something like a phishing campaign, credential reuse, or old compromised passwords floating around the dark web somewhere. Normally, you would expect that account to have limited damage potential, but vulnerabilities like this can sometimes let an attacker pivot further into the environment. Now, this vulnerability also has a CVSS score of 8.8. If you've never heard of CVSS before, that's basically the industry standard scoring system used to rate how severe a vulnerability is. The score goes from 0 to 10. The higher the number, the more dangerous the vulnerability is considered based on things like how easy it is to exploit, what level of access is needed, and the potential impact if somebody successfully abuses it. So an 8.8 is definitely up there and is considered high severity. And the reason this matters so much is because it's SharePoint. This isn't some random niche product. SharePoint is everywhere in enterprise environments. Companies use it for internal documentation, collaboration, file storage, workflows, HR docs, finance docs, and sometimes it becomes the backbone of internal operations. So when Microsoft drops a patch for an RCE involving SharePoint, admins need to pay attention quick. And honestly, I've seen this firsthand when looking at before and after pen test results for organizations. One of the easiest ways to clean up a pen test report is patching. Seriously. A lot of findings just disappear from keeping systems up to date. Now look, patching isn't always easy. We know that. There's downtime concerns, change control, maintenance windows, business impact, legacy systems, users complaining that something might not be available for 20 minutes at 2 a.m. Trust me, I get it. But please make the time and effort to do it. Ask for that downtime. Work some late nights if you have to. And at the management level, make patching a real priority for the team because vulnerabilities like this are exactly why that process matters. The good news is Microsoft already released updates for the affected version, so this becomes one of those classic examples of why vulnerability management and patch management are so important. Even if something is rated less likely to be exploited, history has shown us that attackers absolutely love going after collaboration platforms and systems that are deeply integrated into business operations. So if you're running on-prem SharePoint, it's definitely worth checking your patch levels. Have a good one.